Hi, welcome back to Linux System Administration, Operating Systems, System Foundations. We're going to continue on and make a RAID array today, so it should be kind of a fun experiment with disks. So let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to do is use Web01. And the reason we're using Web01 is because it's a Linux box. It's a late version, so it's 1804, I think it is. 1804.2, long-term support of Ubuntu. So it's going to have all the utilities we need on it. Let's go ahead and log into that system. In Windows 10, you can just SSH to the box. In Mac OS, you can SSH to the box. Or if you're using Linux, you can SSH to the box. And that's 192.168.56.51. So now that we're in the box, and let's go ahead and bring up our terminal there. So our terminal is up on the screen. And I'll go ahead and make that as full as I can. So there. Now we're over on Web01. What are we doing? We're going to make a RAID 5 array. Now, in order to make a RAID 5 array, we need to go through and create some disk. Well, we're actually not going to add hard drives, right? We're not going to go out and buy physical hard drives and add those into a RAID 5 array. So what are we going to do? We're going to make virtual disks, not even virtual disks. We're going to make image files and tell our system that they're disks. Yeah, it works the same way whether you're doing virtual files, these little files we create, we call them a disk, or if we went out and actually purchased a disk or installed a USB device. So it works the same way. It's not a problem. So let's look at how to do it. First thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and create the drive. So I'm going to go ahead and make a directory here. So I'm going to make opt RAID. And then I'm going to cd over to opt RAID. That's where I'm going to put my disk files that I'm creating. Now, to create the disk files, I'm going to use a quick for loop. So the for loop here is going to go through for num in 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 because we're going to use losetup, and that's our Loopback device. And Loopback does start in 0. So I wanted to start our disks in 0. That way everything's consistent. So we got 0 through 4. That means we have 5 disks, 0 through 4. And we're going to DD. That's data dump. Well, it's actually convert and copy. It's a utility used for that. Easy way to remember it is data dump. Input file is dev0. So we're going to use nothing. We don't need to use dev urandom, micro random generator, or anything like that. A pseudo random number generator. We don't need that. And we're going to call it output file is to this directory, of equals /. That means in the directory we're actually in. Disk $num. And that's the num over here. That's 0 through 4. .img. A block size, the BS, equals 1 megabyte. And we're going to do that count 1024 times. So 1 megabyte, 1024 times, 1024, would be 1 gigabyte. Good. And so now we've gone through and we've created 1 gigabyte files all the way down. And we can look at them by doing LL, enter. And you can see we've got disk 0 through 4 there. So that's working out really well. Let me actually move this image over. Now I see that I might be in the way. Move myself up in the corner right there. Hopefully I won't be in the way over here. Yeah, now I'm over here, everybody. Okay, so moving on. Let's go ahead and load each one of these in a loopback. So we're going to make a local loopback to each one of these, and that's going to be a for loop. So for num in 0 through 4, still the same loop. Do losetup, that's going to be our loopback setup. Find the first available device and put that image file in it. Done. So it's going to go through 0. Okay, great. Now let's look at it. Losetup -L, and we can see that disk 1 is loop 1, loop 4 is disk 4, loop 2 is disk 2, loop 0 is disk 0, loop 3 is disk 3. Excellent. So we've now made image files that are blank, and we've mounted them on a system, and the system thinks they're drives. We could actually format these right now and use these as hard drives and send them to somebody else, and that other person could mount it as a hard drive and use it. Pretty cool. Okay, let's move on. So over here, let's make a RAID array. Now, mdadm is already installed. If it's not, we can go apt-get install mdadm. So what is that? Okay, it's there. So if you want to find out more information about it, you do a man mdadm right over there, and you can see this is manage MD devices. I don't know, MD, multi-disk administration, whatever that might be. So I'm going to go ahead, Q to get out of man, by the way. Press the letter Q. You don't need anything extra, just Q. All right, so we got mdadm. We're going to create be verbose about it, dev md0, we're going to get RAID level 5. We're going to use 5 devices, and that's going to be dev loop. Now, you may not have seen these squigglies before. That's a braces. So that's curly braces right there. So we'd say braces 0.4 and close braces, which I don't see the close braces on there. I'm going to put that. Close braces. There. All right. So if you do that, what it does is this right here is an expression that will expand out to be dev loop 0, dev loop 1, all in the same row. So it's a little different than a for loop. This is all going to be in the same row. So just go ahead and press enter on that. If you're wondering about that, I'll just give you an example. You can type echo the loop curly braces, .0, .4, close curly braces, enter, and you can see it does it in a row. It does not do it like a for loop, where if we did a for num in 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, do echo loop $, nice, $, num, done, then that puts it all in separate rows. So you see row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. We have separate rows right there. It's all in a column. This is all in one row, so it's just in one row. That's important for us because we need this expanded out to be all in one row. We don't need this in separate columns. That would cause errors. Okay, we've done that now. We can actually look at it. So we can do an mdadm -- detail dev md0, enter, and we can see that that pops up right there. You can see that we've got these active syncs. We got a spare rebuilding. It's about 74 complete, making our RAID array. So it's you know, going right along and making our array, and should be done pretty soon. So we'll give it look at it again. We're at 99% complete. Give it another couple of seconds. We'll look at it again, and hey, we're 100%. So we're over here, and we've got all of our devices, and they are all in sync. The state is clean. Superblock is present. We have 5 devices. Everything is great. RAID level 5. All right, well, what we're going to do with it? Well, now we're going to need to partition it. Now I'm going to use part ed for this partition. So I'm going to do part ed dev md0 mk label. We're going to make a disk label of it. It's going to be ms-dos disk label. Okay. Now it says you might need to update etc fstab. We don't. But if it does tell you, if it does mention that your partition table's been updated, and you may need to update that, then you need to do a part probe. So I do a part probe. Now, part probe never hurts. So if you want to do a part probe, you can. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a part ed again. Part ed, dev md0. We're going to make a partition, mk part, call it primary. We're going to make it a second extended file system. We're going to start at 0%. Nice. 0%. We're going to go to 100%. Nice. There. And bing, there you go. If you want to do the part probe again, you can. Part probe never hurts. I shouldn't say never, right? Yeah. Okay. Now let's go ahead and make a file system on it. So we're going to do an mkfs. We'll do the second extended file system. We'll call it RAID 00. Dev md0 p1, because now we have a partition. Remember up here we created this partition, so now we have p1 partition over there. So press enter. It goes through, it should label it and create the partition, and now we have a partition there. So if we do an fdisk -l dev md0, you should see that you now have a partition there. Now that's a different command. Fdisk does the same stuff as part ed. Parted. Yeah. So 2 different utilities. Usually you'll see me use fdisk. But in this case, I used part ed because part ed is entirely scriptable and it's easy to do so. So let's move on. So let's go ahead and mount. Well, let's look at our mount point first. ll/mnt, enter. There's nothing there. Fantastic. Let's mount dev md0 p1, remember the p1, to /mnt. Once we've done that, let's go ahead and look at that again. It's empty, except now there's a lost and found folder there. Let's copy some files into it. So we'll just copy o/etc star, and we'll just put that into /mount. There you go. So over here it says R is not specified, so it's not going to go into directories. We don't want it to go in directories. I just want something to be there. So ll/mount, And if you look at it, we've got a whole bunch of stuff in our /mount now. So good. Now that we've done that, everything is great. Let's look at our array, lsblk. If you look at our array here, we've got this md0p1 is mounted on mount. The type is that multi-disk array right there. I see that MD0 there. It's all RAID 5, so, you know, everything looks good. And we can see that this is a 4 gig array, if you look over there. And if we do a df-h, we'll see that 4 gig array is using 8.5 megabytes right now. So we've got 3.8 gig available on /mnt. Great. Now we've done that, let's go ahead and cause our array to fail. Now I'm going to do a graceful failure because I can. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's do an mdadm --stop dev md0. Now if I do that, it's actually already, it's mounted right now. So we need to umount it first. Umount mnt and then do this. Okay, now we've done that. So first unmount it and then stop the array. Now we stop the array, you can see we still have our disks here. That disk, well, let's destroy disk 3. So rm-f disk3.img. Bloop, it's gone. Now check losetup-l. That's your loopback setup. And we're going to want to list, and you look over here, it says loop 3 is gone. It's deleted. So let's go ahead and remove that. Losetup-d dev, and we're going to do a loop 3 on there. So now we've done that. We look at it again. We see 1, 2, 0, and 4, and that's it. 3 is gone. Okay, we've eliminated a drive. So we can try to start the array back up. Let's go ahead and do it. In this case, we're using the same command we used earlier in the loop up there with that expression extension expansion right there. A little different because we're missing drive 3. So now it's 0, 1, 2, skip 3, 4. We can see that we're reassembling. We're not creating, but we're assembling dev md0 verbose. Let's do that. And it says, okay, it started with 4 drives. And it tells us out of 5. Kind of nice. So let's go over and let's look at mdadm --detail dev md0. Oh, look at that. We got removed. It's resync. Everything is good to go. It says that we're clean, but we're also degraded. So we've lost a drive. Let's go ahead and mount that thing. So mount dev md0 to mount. Oops. md0p1 to mount. Very good. And let's look at mount. Okay, all of our files are still there. If we went over cat mount pass-wd, and you see that file, everything is fine. Looking good. Okay, let's go ahead and reincorporate a drive back into it. So we're going to unmount /mnt. We're taking that mount off so it's no longer in use. We're going to stop the, actually we don't even need to stop it. We can keep this ring running. We don't need to unmount either. So I can just, I can keep that mounted too. I'm just going to add a disk. We'll add the disk live. Why not? I mean, we can, so let's do. So let's go ahead and pop a drive in, or we probably should do it the right way. So we'll do mdadm dev md0 --fail dev loop 3. We're telling it that it's gone. It's already like it's gone. And we're going to remove, and this is if we did everything just properly. Remove dev loop 3. It's going to be like, oh, it's already gone. So it's already gone. We're all good. We're safe. So let's go ahead and add the drive back. So in order to add the drive back, we're going to do our DD again. So let's go ahead and grab our DD, and that's going to be a dev0 input file is whatever, block size is whatever. The 1 meg, sorry, and counts 1024. Press enter. Once it comes up, we need to do our low setup. In this case, we need to do a low setup and tell it that we want dev loop 3 to be disk3.img. And that dev loop 3 right there tells it that we do want it to be dev loop 3. So if we do a low setup now and do a -l, we can see that we have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. All the disks are there. Now we need to reincorporate the drive. Just because we created our virtual disk again, our image file, doesn't mean it's formatted. It doesn't mean it's part of the array. This is just like you went and bought a new USB stick, or you went and bought a new hard drive and you put the new hard drive in the array. You have not incorporated the hard drive back into the array yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's pull that thing in, and we're going to do mdadm dev md0 -- add dev loop 3. Bloop. Okay, fantastic. It added. Now let's look at it. Let's see if it saw it. Let's go mdadm -- detail dev md0. And if we look up here, it says we have a spare and it's rebuilding right there. Up here, it says clean, it's degraded, but it is recovering. Very nice. So we've got our RAID 5 array. It's rebuilding itself. It's 12% complete. It's going to take about a minute for this thing to come back up to speed, 1 gig. So it's going to be coming back up to speed. That's all there is to it. Now you've created a RAID 5 array. If you don't know what a RAID 5 array is, please look that up. We've covered striping and parity bits a number of times before. So going from a RAID 0, a RAID 1, up to a RAID 5, so in a RAID 6. But look at those settings. The big ones to know: RAID 0, just a bunch of disks; a RAID 1, which is mirroring; a RAID 5, which the minimum disks you have is 3. You lose a disk, you're toast. Well, I mean, you're still okay if you lose 1 disk. Lose 2, you're dead. A RAID 5 plus 1, so you can add a spare to it, or you can do a RAID 5 hot spare, you can do a RAID 6. There are some options there. But ones you need to know: 0, 1, 5, and 6. And that's it. Unless, of course, you're going into some type of RAID job where you need to do a lot of that, then definitely know the RAIDs. All right, let's look at this and see where we're at. We are now resynced. Superblock is persistent, and we are clean. Excellent. Let's go ahead and break everything down. So let's look over mount, LL of mount. Everything's there. So umount, mount, and we're going to bring down everything. So let's just kill it all. So losetup. Well, actually, first let's stop mdadm -- stop dev md0. It stopped. Losetup -L, look at our stuff, -D for delete them all. Look at it again. They're all gone. And let's go ahead and rm-f, our disks, or you can leave them there if you want to. It's using 4 gig of space, so it's significant. But rm-f disk star, we'll get rid of all those. All the disks are gone. In fact, let's just get rid of the directory. RAID, there. Now our RAID directory is gone. And if we look at it now, we'll do mdadm -- examine, and we'll do a -- scan on there. So if you do that, there's no RAID there, nothing left. It's as if the RAID never existed. All those files we copied are gone now. They're history. That is creating a RAID 5 array in 15 minutes or less, right? Oh my goodness. No, okay, 20 minutes or less. Just looked at my time. Hope that this is helpful. I hope that you enjoy this, and you can go use this on Raspberry Pis or hard drives or USB drives or anything that you might want to use. I'll look forward to talking to you later.